Welcome to Handi Quilter Live. We are here today, actually live from the Handi Quilter studio. I'm Kristina Whitney and
I'm Kim Sandberg.
And we are here to talk about our quilt-along today.
Yes.
So we're really excited. But before we jump into that, we've got another thing we want to talk about. So Denise, our other studio educator, has been working on a project on the Amara ST. And she thought of some different designs. And we're going to put that out there for all of our viewers to vote on.
Yeah.
So if you're on or if you're watching later, we're going to have you vote on your favorite design. And then next month, if things work out, she's actually in San Diego right now teaching at an event. So we're here in Utah in the snowstorms. No pity party for us.
Yeah.
Anyway. So when she gets back, she's going to be showing you guys how to stitch free motion designs on the Amara ST. That's our stationary machine. But she wants you guys to pick the design. So Kim, would you like to show us the design?
Yes,
the big reveal.
Let's take a look at these designs, and we'll do like a poll on Facebook with some pictures, close-ups of these. So for the voting, look for that down the road.
Okay.
All right, so walking over here, we've got 3 different designs, and just for a refresher, this is the quilt that Denise is going to be putting the designs on. This is the quilt she's been working on for the Black and White Challenge. She has done it in the last couple of live episodes, if I remember right.
Yep.
Okay, so we've got 3 options for the quilting. Like we said, Denise is tired of making decisions for this quilt, so she's going to put it in your hands. We've got option A, which has some really great, it's actually got some ruler work here, doing a curved crosshatch with some wishbone. We've got option B, which has some really fun swirls. This is a little bit of a denser quilting with just some, this is actually a ribbon candy, a really tight ribbon candy. So we've got that one with a nice little swirl in the center. And then option C is like Echo with some feathers. So
I'm looking at C and I'm thinking, oh, that's kind of funky. But I remember working on this with Denise.
Yeah.
And if you take a step to your right, Kim, so we can see the actual quilt, your other right.
Yes.
I should know better than to say right and left.
You should.
Okay. So that feather section is actually going to combine with the next block.
Right.
So the feathers would all, like along the top would be going one direction and then all the way around the bottom connecting.
Exactly.
So it's not just half of a little, whatever that shape is, but it'll be the full melon.
I do believe it's a melon shape, right? So it would fill that shape there.
Yeah. And same with the other designs. But.
Yeah. So this is, I think we've got some great options here. She only has 6 blocks to quilt, and we're planning next month. Denise is actually going to show how to quilt the design that everyone picks on the ST. So I'm excited for that.
So Denise, pick a hard one. Just kidding, Denise.
Well, she drew them all, so she knows how to do them. It'll be great. So anyway, we're really excited about that. It'll be fun to see what everyone picks, and we'll roll forward with that. So
I know which one's my vote.
Yeah, I still haven't picked yet. I keep looking at those, going, I don't know which one it's going to be. We'll see. We'll see. Maybe I can be a tiebreaker. Who knows? All right. Well,
we put challenges out to our viewers.
I know.
Or not challenges to them, but they give us challenges.
Exactly. So. Exactly. Yep. Yeah. And, it's going to be fun. Like I said, it'll be fun to see what Denise does with us. So then moving on to the second item of business today.
So speaking of the viewers giving us challenges, I'm doing my Seeing Stars using the color choices that you guys picked for me this year.
Exactly.
So
out of your comfort zone. How is it coming?
It's coming along. I was actually working or looking at all of my works in progress, and I put a post on, and we've been posting also about our Seeing Stars on our personal account. So make sure that you look us up and follow us, and you can see what we're up to. But yeah, all of my works in progress, every single one of them was a blue quilt, except for the Seeing Stars. So once I get those done, those blue ones, I might, have it out of my system for a little while. But they're going to be ongoing projects.
Yes,
so
yes,
it might be a while.
Oh, you can always have at least one blue one going, as long as you have something else going. That's what I figure. No, that's great. So just a reminder, so we've been working, it's our second month rolling into the Seeing Stars. And so this last month, we challenged everybody to pick their fabric, and we showed you guys our fabric. And we've actually got the beginnings of piecing the block together, which is what the, I guess you say, task is for April. So it's the very end of March right now. So at the next, the fourth Tuesday in April, we'll be checking in again to see where everybody is. But Kristina and I both took a little bit of a different approach to how we're piecing this. So we wanted to show you, just so you can kind of have some options. I think this is one of those things, as you progress along your quilting journey, you tend to find techniques that you really like to do, right?
Yes.
And that are just easier for you. And so I know I will take a look at a pattern and I will go, okay, how can I use that favorite ruler? How can I do whatever it is? Yeah. So Kristina, why don't you share what you've been working on? Let's start with yours, okay?
Well, yours is all out.
Oh, do you want me to start with mine? Sure,
Either
I
way.
can start with mine.
We can pull mine over.
Okay, well, I forgot.
Mine
is all
okay,
set out.
the first person to post to say who goes first. That's who's going to go first.
Here we go. I'm going first.
Lily, who's going first? Kim's
Okay.
going first.
Woo, I won that one. All right, awesome. Okay, so I pretty much took what was in the pattern and said, I'm just going to use other techniques that I like to use. So first of all, I am using this triangle paper. And I actually showed this last month when I was cutting this out, because this is part of the cutting process for me. So per the instructions for this triangle paper, it's from It's So Emma, and it's a 3-inch finished, which if you don't trim it down to 3 inches, it's actually 3.5. It's the right size if you don't trim it down. And I'll show you how to do that. So according to the directions, you cut 8.5-inch squares of fabric. And these are roughly, they're a little more rectangle shaped. And then you put the two pieces right sides together, because you want to have your seams on the other side. And then you put the paper on top, and then you just stitch. And there's actually, if we look closely here, so we stitch on the dotted lines. Okay. So there's a solid line there. That's where we actually cut. So you want to make sure you don't stitch there.
I love that it even has arrows to tell you which direction to go.
And that's the coolest thing. So I would always just start up here and just follow the arrows around and go ahead and stitch all of it. So I've got, I don't know, do you want me to actually stitch, or should I just pull my one out that's already stitched and I can show you how to cut it?
Well, we can let the viewers pick again. You've got the machine, you might as well.
I know. Okay, so let's do some stitching here.
Yeah, just do like one round and
then
flip over.
Exactly. So I'm just going to start right here. And one of the things I recommend, because you're going to be tearing this paper off, is actually shortening your stitch length. So you want to shorten your stitch length. I have it shortened to, I think it's like 1.8.
So kind of similar to doing foundation paper piecing.
Exactly. Well, and that's really what this is. So I'm just going to go ahead and stitch right along that line. And then when I come up here, I'm just going to pivot and go over to where it's ready to start again. And you guys will notice that I have the machine set up, so it's always stopping with the needle down. Just a little tip, it definitely makes it easier. Okay, and then I just keep stitching. Once again, I'm just following those arrows.
And Kim is stitching on our Handi Quilter Stitch 610 machine.
Fantastic new machine. This machine just debuted, didn't it? Mm-hmm. And it is so much fun to stitch on. Okay, we're just going to keep going here.
What's your favorite feature of the machine?
I don't know. I really love that this one has, I'm able to put cones of thread on it. Like, it has the built-in cone holder, which is really great. So I'm doing the next round here. I actually just kept going. I was just going to do one round. I'm doing the other round now too. They kind of all connect. It's like, it's kind of hard to just stop partway through. But I think you can see where it just turns into really fun, easy sewing. You know, for me, I put on a good audio book, sit and listen to it, and I can just go ahead and stitch this all the way out. This machine also has a thread cutter, which I love. Mm-hmm. And I've got this whole thing stitched now.
Excellent.
So then the first thing to do is to take, and I've just got a cutter, a rotary cutter, and my ruler here. And first off, I'm going to trim the outside, that little bit of extra off. You'll notice that it is a little generous. The 8.5 is a little generous. So if you're a little tight on fabric, you could probably cut it a little shorter, but it just gives you that little bit of extra fabric to kind of square things up. So I'm just trimming the outside edge of that. And then I want to make sure and cut along the straight, solid lines, not the lines I stitched on. Okay. So what I like to do is I cut down the center first, and then keeping everything together, I'll cut the other way. And then I can just work my way around and go ahead and cut the rest of these into triangles just like that. Then you'll take the paper off, press them open. I did definitely press to the dark side on all of these, and you can trim the little ears off too as you're going. So as I, and to take the paper off, I just take and fold it over, and then it's just like, you know, perforated paper. It just rips right off really easy. So you take all of that off. So once I got that done, I got all of those pieces taken care of. I have all of my squares here, and I'll show you for piecing what I did. So Kristina is going to show that she's got all of these kind of pieces to make up this part.
Yes.
She's got these small pieces. Well, I cut these squares and I cut them down the center, and we gave out last month, we gave out the size on this. I think I actually have it in here. You cut the medium, oh, it's 9 7/8, which by the way, I just cut it 8 inches because 1/8 of an inch, yeah, it's fine. So then I've got my half square triangle here. And then I'm going to go ahead and line these up. So I'm going to go like this, and I try to kind of make a little bit of a variation in the fabric so that they're not all the same. So I'm going to do those ones there, and then you can see I've got separate pieces. So I cut these out with a really awesome ruler that I love, that Denise took to San Diego with her. So I don't have it here. I actually showed you guys the ruler last month. I think it's called the half square triangle ruler or something like that. And then I just lay my pieces out like this.
If you had like an AccuCut
in
that size,
yep,
or a Cricut, or
yeah,
some kind of cutting thing, you could do that also. That'd be great.
Totally. And then I pieced these two together, and then I stitched this one. And so I made like 3 rows.
Okay.
And then I stitched, well, 2 rows. I stitched this row together, and then I stitched this one on and pressed it out. Now here's a little tip, because when you go to stitch all of this together, this is a bias edge and these are all bias edges. So you want to be sure to pin. I'm not always a big pinner, but if you pin all of these seams, you're going to have, it just reduces the stretching there. And then also be really careful when you're pressing along this seam that you don't stretch it. So you actually want to make sure you press, meaning you just put the hot iron down and you don't iron. Right, Kristina?
Correct.
Okay, so that's how I've pieced mine. So let's take a look at how you did yours.
Okay,
And
well,
I'll scoot my stuff out of the way here.
Leave
Okay.
this here, and I'll be honest. I already like chain pieced.
Look at you.
All of my pieces. So I wasn't going to show this part. All of it's down here on the ground.
I love this though.
So what I did was I kind of followed the layout.
Mm-hmm.
Do you by any chance have scissors over there?
If
If not, I have some down
I
here.
think
Yes.
you got some. I have a rotary cutter.
Okay.
That's all I've got right now. And I have a little cutter on the back of the machine.
I've got my emergency kit
There
here
we
with
go.
scissors. Okay. So
I'm going to go through and cut.
just one of that pile. Let's
Oh.
grab one of this pile.
Okay. Okay.
I
So
think
I'm going to
done
grab
with those.
these.
I think I need one of these.
Okay. Wait a minute. I'm not doing these in the right.
Oops, I got 2 of that one.
So this one would go there. This one.
So
I have this flipped like the wrong way. Yeah, you fix it.
we'll just take that away from
There we
Kim
go.
right now.
So you can see the difference in how we kind of put things
Yeah.
together.
So I kind of followed the pattern with the pieces. I did rectangles here. I think the pattern said like 2 squares.
Mhm.
I didn't want to deal with that, so I just did a rectangle. I personally do not like working with triangles
Yeah.
like this.
Yeah.
So if I can do it so that it's a rectangle, I'd much prefer to do it that way.
No bias. Yeah.
Yeah. So what I did was I had all my half square triangles already
Mhm.
cut.
Mhm.
Some of them had like the light and dark, some
Mhm.
were the mix, some the white. I just laid them all out, just a pile of each one. And then I
Chain pieced
chain
again.
pieced all of those together, those together, snipped them, chain pieced onto this block,
Love
onto
it.
this block, and then pieced those all together.
Perfect. And then you end up with, you've actually got
So I've got
a
one
completed
that's
block.
completed here.
So you actually have one of each of the 2 different blocks, which is great.
Yeah, so this one, and I mentioned this in the last video that
Mhm.
I'm kind of doing mine a little different, where half of mine of this block are going to
Mhm.
be green.
Mhm.
The other half are going to be purple.
Right.
The purple ones are all done. I
Okay.
just don't know where I put them. They're on the floor somewhere.
Around here somewhere.
With everything else.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so I've got most of those done.
Mhm.
And then this is the other block. And this is the one I wanted to talk about
Mhm.
today. So I'm just going to throw all of this stuff back on the ground so I don't get confused. Get all my decorations. Oh, I'm leaving threads.
Now you're covered in thread.
Yes.
That's fantastic.
Okay, can you show that little cheat sheet that we did?
Yeah. So it's right here. So we actually had this available last month, and we'll make sure that it's been in a few social media posts. So this right here is what you did, right?
Yes, that is me being a ding dong.
This is what do you mean?
Okay, so I'm going to lay out my pieces how it is on there.
Okay.
I've actually
And
got
here, how about
one
if I-
sewn together here.
I'm even going to go like this so that we're
Yes,
we're
so we're
looking
not
at
confusing
that.
people. And put my half square triangles here.
Okay.
And then I've got my white pieces here.
So we can take a look here at how Kristina's
Here.
laying this out according to what
This
she's got
goes
rolling here.
Yeah, so I like to lay out the whole block. And like I mentioned earlier, I will lay out all of the blocks, just stack them right on top of each other, and then assembly line piece them together. Okay, so then the white goes in here.
I love that when you're at this point, because it's like a fun little puzzle. You just put everything together.
Okay, have you done any of yours like that with the
Yeah, oh yeah, absolutely. Which I was going to talk about, like this, making sure that they're lined up. When you guys see mine, I actually have, I think, one entire pinwheel that every single seam is turned a different way. And you know what? It was a design choice. So.
Yes, and if they're all that way, it's just when you
It's fine.
do one.
It's fine.
Okay, and I think I counted wrong. I'm missing one. It's on the floor. Nope, it's right here.
You got. I was in like, you have a couple right there.
These are the white ones. I gotta put the right ones in the right place
so that it makes the square in the center.
Yes.
Love it.
Okay, let's get these guys up here.
Okay.
That one goes there.
And you know, I totally agree with you on this. I laid all of my stuff out too because it's so easy to flip one of those half square triangles and then the pattern is not working out the way you wanted it to.
Yeah. And you have to be careful if you are chain piecing, because sometimes you snip all those chain piecings and you flip something the wrong way.
Yep.
I've done that many a times. Okay, so here's my ding dong moment.
Okay.
So I've got this section here, and on the pattern, I cut out the middle square right here, and then the rectangles all the way around it.
Yeah.
Why did I not just do a giant rectangle here?
I don't know.
I don't know either.
But it's clear to see now.
Yeah, so if you want to adjust that, instead of doing a square and then 2 rectangles, you could do a 12.5 by 6.5 inch rectangle for this center section.
Okay.
I had already cut everything.
Yeah.
And then on the first one that I was piecing, I was like, oh, what was I thinking? So learn from my mistakes.
Yes. Yes.
But yeah, so I would lay this all out and I would work the left-hand section, the middle section, and the right-hand section.
Perfect.
And then put them together.
I love it.
Okay. So the issue that I have come across, I don't know if you've done this yet, but ironing. Pressing. Sorry, we're pressing.
We're pressing. Yes.
Which way am I pressing when I'm getting everything together so that when I put the blocks together, I'm not having, like I can nest them. I have not figured that out yet.
I know that's one reason actually why I chose to do these is because it did make the piecing a little easier. I only had to do deciding where everything went here. It was a little interesting, especially because you've got white. And so you want to make sure that like none of this black ends up pressed over the other way, but you want things to nest and not have big bulky seam. So I don't know. It'll be fun to see what you end up doing.
Yeah. So my biggest issue is when I try to put the two blocks next to each other.
Yes. How are they
Okay,
going to line
did
up?
I press this one the right way that when I press this one, they're going to match up? And then what if I rotated it and I pressed the other one? Yeah. I'm at the point where I'm not even going to deal with it.
Yeah. I think I just pinned a lot of stuff and was like, I'm going to get these seams flat. Oh.
Yeah, some of those quilts you're just like, okay, I'm just ready to be done.
Yeah. Yep. Totally. Totally.
No, this is going to be a fun quilt.
Yeah.
And again, mine is going to be giant.
Mm-hmm.
I'm doing 30 blocks.
Yeah.
Total.
And mine is much smaller. Actually, I don't have my little drawing. Mine is only 9 blocks. So mine is just three by 3. And yeah, we both do in different sizes. I know I've been watching on social media. I'm seeing people doing it all different sizes, which is exciting to see.
Yeah.
Just doing it for what's going to fit the project you want. I'm doing this as like either a wall hanging, or I'll probably use it as like a table topper. Yeah. So I just didn't want as big of a one. And you're planning on doing what with yours?
Mine is probably going to be a wedding gift.
Oh, perfect. So a bed quilt.
Yes.
Awesome.
Yep.
That's great.
I like doing big functional quilts.
I do too, but this one I was like, I don't have a lot of time.
Well, I'm kind of feeling that way. So I was actually thinking, okay, so Kim and I are going to have to film our quilting part ahead of time. And I was trying to figure out, how am I going to get this done in time to do that filming ahead of time? I said, maybe I'll just do like 2 rows, and I'll do the filming on those 2 rows. And then later on, I can add the rest and just piece it on the Longarm.
You know, that would be a great tutorial, how to have your quilt halfway finished, quilt part of it, and then add on. We could have some fun with that.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. Well, it'll be fun next month to see where we both are. Yeah, actually by the time we do this next month, we actually are both going to have them actually quilted.
Actually, no, we've got 1 more month.
Do we have 1 more month? Is it not debuting until June?
We'll film the quilting in May.
Oh, okay. In May.
Don't scare me.
Sorry. Whew. Okay.
But we're getting closer.
1 more month.
We can do
1
this.
more month. Anyway, and of course, all of you have clear until July to get yours finished. So.
They usually have as long as they want.
I know. That's true. That's absolutely true. You've got plenty of time. So
yeah. I like sometimes having a deadline, though. It pushes me, helps me get motivated. Mm-hmm. So do we have any questions that people want answered?
Questions, comments?
Nobody wants to talk to us?
I know. We're just talking to ourselves here.
Okay, so while they're looking for questions and comments, we talked earlier about how we're posting on social media. So what is your social media that people can follow? Okay,
so I'm Kim Quilts, and it's KIMKWILTS on both Instagram and Facebook. So if you want to see what I'm doing, you can check it out there. And you are?
I'm Kristina's Quilting, Kristina with a K, so KRISTINAS_quilting.
Okay.
So
yeah, and
check them out. So it looks like Lily's got a question for us.
Perfect.
What color threads for navy and cream?
Ooh, when you're piecing, I would go with the cream personally. I always go with a lighter color.
Okay, so that goes back to my tip that I always throw out there. I like to use the lighter color thread, and then if it does happen to show through in places, you can always just Sharpie it darker. If you use the dark thread and it pops through, you're kind of out of luck.
As I say, white out on a quilt does not work. Ask me how I know. Where do we find the pattern? Oh, that's a great question. So the pattern is available at handiquilter.com. And we'll be sure and have a link in the comments here. And then also we'll have more social media posts going on this month. We'll make sure and have links for it. It's available on the website for, I think it's $4.99. It's $5. So if you want to join the quilt-along, jump on and make this awesome quilt with us, the pattern is still available.
Yep. And it will be available, I think indefinitely,
I think
as far
so
as I know as of right now. We'll see. Don't quote me on that.
Yeah. So we'll be excited to see what all of you are doing with your quilt-along. So be sure to use the hashtag HandiQuilterQAL. We decided that's our official hashtag for this one. And if all else fails, just do hashtag Handi Quilter. We'll be looking for you, and we'll be keeping an eye out to see where everybody is. We've picked our fabric, we've cut stuff out, and this month we get to start sewing. So I think for me, this is always the fun part.
Yep, piecing those blocks, getting them together.
Yep.
Starting to see the overall picture. Like, did the colors I picked really work? So it's going to be exciting. But thank you for joining us for our HQ Live. It's been fun. We're glad that you guys are joining us for these quilt-alongs, and make sure that you have fun quilting.